Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey, and I'm here with my co-host Eric Pierce, the editor of the Downey Patriot. And you're listening to Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric. How you doing, Mario?
I don't know. For anybody, I got the giggles because, we had to retape the thing because
it takes you a few times sometimes.
It takes me a few times. I'm sorry, okay?
No, it's fine.
One of these days, we got to do a show, at least for the YouTube portion of it, of all the outtakes.
All the outtakes.
Yeah, I think that in itself will be pretty funny.
That'll be pretty funny.
So, Eric, I have to ask you, as a journalist, I know that you went to help your writer, Alex Dominguez, but one of the most controversial openings we've ever had in the city of Downey, from a restaurant standpoint, was Ojos Locos, okay, in downtown Downey. So, did you really go?
I did. I did go. In the name of journalism, I did go. And so, first of all, I want to say this. I know people are tired of talking about Ojos Locos. I am too. But on the other hand, this, whenever there's any mention of Ojos Locos on social media, there's a ton of engagement because people are so interested in it. They have strong opinions on Ojos Locos. And it's going to die down. Like, I get it. We're not going to talk about this forever, but it just opened. We should talk about it. So as of this taping, it opened last week. And I did. So what happened is I assigned our Downey Patriot staff writer, Alex Dominguez, to visit and to kind of soak it in and see what's going on. He didn't want to go by himself, so he asked me to go with him. So I took him for the team. I said, of course, I'm going to do
the Javier thing. Hashtag no invite. I'm just
no,
saying,
I know. We should go. go. So look, this is what I wrote for the Patriot. I wrote an article for the Patriot. The food, at least my food, was terrible. It was really bad. I ordered tacos, and it was like the tortillas weren't grilled. They weren't cooked. There's no taste to it. It was just very bland. It wasn't good. Alex ordered a hamburger and fries. It looked pretty good, actually, but he said that it upset his stomach. But realistically, nobody's going for the food, right? You're going for the ambience. You're going for the drinks. And so overall, it felt a little sleazy. I felt a little weird being in there. Now, I'm older. I'm 41. If I was in my early 20s, I can see myself going with some friends, have some drinks. We probably can't go because we're involved in the community. We're part of community groups. To me, it felt really strange being in there. Also, you're eating and you're trying to keep your eyes up, right? Because you don't want to stare, you don't want to look, you don't want to be creepy. But it's really tough because there's a lot of women who are wearing not much. They're wearing very revealing clothing, right? Okay,
so tell us about that. And I'm being serious for a moment. I mean, I don't mean that thing on there, but what is it about their uniforms? What is it? Why do you think? Why is all the controversy?
It's more from their backsides. There's obviously cleavage. They're wearing like the high boots, but it's more like the backside. It's all hanging out. It's right there. So they're walking back and forth. Okay. And you know what? And they're working hard. The girls who are there, they're working as waitresses, and they're actually hustling, from the kitchen. They're serving food, taking drink orders, and refilling drinks. They're actually working hard. But there's a lot of them. And as guys, I think you look,
I'm a deacon, man. I don't do that. Right? My wife's somewhere here in this, the room on there. I don't do that.
No, it doesn't. It's no temptation. But I could see we're probably. So we went for lunch. I was there for lunchtime. So I imagine it's a different crowd at night, and I could see how there could be problems when you're drinking alcohol because they have a full bar. You're drinking alcohol is encouraged. They have like those huge drinks, huge containers. I can see when you're filled with alcohol, and then you have women there. You have that masculine, atmosphere going on. I could 100% see how there could be trouble. I'm also a little concerned about the parking. There's parking in the back of Ojos Locos. And so you can't see it from Firestone. It's a little bit hidden. I could understand how there could be trouble. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Right.
But I could 100% see it. I don't know. It was a little strange also knowing that it used to be a Denny's. Like that's where I got my Grand Slams, and it's an Ojos Locos.
What was it? Breakfast over my hammies.
Yeah, moon over my hammies.
Moon
over my hammies.
Yeah.
And we don't have a Denny's anymore in Downey, which is too bad. It was kind of strange. It's not my place. Right. But I can see why other people would want to go. It's a sports bar is what it is.
I'm disappointed in them from what you said and other people. By the way, I saw the pictures online, huge lines the first day, and it was all men. It was kind of interesting on there. And I get it. It's one of those things that if you don't want to be there, don't go. But I can try to hear both sides of it. But what I'm disappointed is in them. They heard the community outroar, if you will, about them coming in the uniforms and the whole bit, right? We have, and I sound hypocritical because we have other restaurants that have similar attire. From the pictures I saw, the behind was a lot more seen there than some of the other places, of course. But I was hoping that they'd come in. Yeah, they could still be a sports bar. They didn't have to. The pictures that I saw was the buttocks, 4 inches showing. And some of the other things on there. I'm not a prude. I was hoping that they would adhere and respect the community and almost like be normal, and stuff, and at least adhere to the dress code that the city council passed. So now here's the challenge. City council, they seen the pictures. They have somebody go, what are you going to do about it? Kind of thing, right? I always thought the ordinance itself was going to be very hard to enforce. I mean, I think everybody makes, jokes about it as, how you're going to tape measure this and that.
Right.
But I'm disappointed in Ojos Locos, knowing what you've known the last 9 months in the community outroar, and you still went through with this bad, and you basically said and pointed their middle finger at our community and said, we don't care what you say. So they should have, I was hoping that they would get a little bit better, be normal, a little bit decent, even though there's, scantily clad on there, but not go all the way to the far as they went. And then as they got here or something, I don't know. I just thought they would respect us more at the beginning.
I think, this is who they are, I think, and I think other locations have been worse, where it looks like they're wearing like literal lingerie, in this case, at least there were uniforms, what I wrote too in my article is I think, what does this say about Downey as a community? Because for so long, we've been wanting a Trader Joe's. We've been wanting a Sprouts. We want a Whole Foods. But we get an Ojos Locos. Like, what does that, why is that? I think that's an important question for us to ask as a community. Why is it that we're getting certain types of restaurants, but not these other types of supermarkets? Are we just not as nice as a community as we think we are? Like, we pretend we are?
I think it's, my answer to that is the complete opposite. My answer to that is, look, we got 2 Ralphs. We got an Albertsons, a Stater Brothers. We got, 3 Hispanic markets. We have tons of markets. So do we want Trader Joe's for their fancy cheese and the whole thing? Really? That doesn't make us. We don't need another market. We don't need a Sprouts. Do we want fresh vegetables? You can go to, I'll tell you, go to Vallarta over there on Imperial. They got an amazing fresh vegetables and so forth. So when I look at that and I look at the amount of restaurants coming in, yeah, there's an Ojos Locos, but there's all kinds of other restaurants that have invested. I mean, look at Firestone in the corridor there. How many? Look at the downtown Downey. Yes, a different demographics and a different vibe. But what I'm saying, I think, is we keep saying we want this, and everybody always thought, oh, we want a Barnes and Noble. Well, you can buy Barnes and Noble is like a dream romanticized thing, okay, to go there and read a book with your Starbucks. Well, first we didn't have Starbucks. Now we got 5 Starbucks, okay? So at what point are we happy completely? I don't know what that means, that says, but do we want to start Barnes and Nobles? Yeah, but we're not going to get one, and the business model doesn't work when we can buy books online now and on Amazon and get them for half the price. So all I'm saying is, it's like, yes, we need to continue to push the envelope to bring economic development, and we got a new person coming in. But look at all the places they fill up in Downey. And, I remember when we wanted chain restaurants, and then when we started getting them, because all we had was independence, and now we're complaining about it. I don't know. I'm perfectly happy, contrary to a couple of people, that we're getting a Shake Shack on the corner of Downey and Firestone Boulevard. I like that. I like Shake Shack. So what does that say about it? Well, that means that we're getting a Shake Shack, period. So.
Do you think people, this is my theory, when people say that they want Trader Joe's and they want a Whole Foods and they want a Barnes & Noble, I think it's an ego thing. I don't think they even really want to shop there. I think they just want to say we deserve that kind of store because we're upscale, and how dare they don't want to be here in Downey. I think it's an ego thing. I don't think if there wasn't Barnes & Noble here in Downey, I don't think it would be well supported. I don't.
We had a similar. We had a bookstore over there. Remember Stonewood Mall? I used to go there and get in the books and everything else, and stuff. But obviously, we get what we deserve by who we patronize. Okay, patronize, is that the right word? Yeah. So I always tell people we have 7 McDonald's. Do we need 7 McDonald's? No. But McDonald's is not stupid. If we didn't support the first 6 McDonald's, we wouldn't have had the 7th McDonald's, okay? So the same thing. Everybody's like, oh, my God, we got Starbucks at every corner. Guess what? When you drive by a Starbucks in Downey, the drive-thru, they're packed, every single one of them. So the more, this is our city continues to grow and evolve. Our demographics on there keep evolving and changing, but not necessarily in a bad way, depending on how you want to look at it. Because to me, our home values are still one of the highest in the area. Our crime is still one of the lowest. We're always keep proud, and we always say, look, we're the only city around us that's got its own police, its own fire, its own school district. We're real proud of that. Look at the money Downey is paying for all the bonds for the school district for the remodelings and the new buildings. We got beautiful schools. We got amazing looking schools, and we got a great elected officials. The same thing with our city. We keep doing streets. I don't know. Yes, I'm a homer. But you know what? If you have the money and you want to invest in our city, there, go for it. I don't want to tell you. Well, first of all, we can't. If it's a zone for fast food, we can't tell you. I miss Arby's, for example. That you can only you got to put an Arby's or this and there. No, you can put a McDonald's if you want to invest the money in a zone for that. So I don't know what the city. I agree with you. I think some of it is the ego. Do I want to trade it? I'm over it because we're a good city. We're a fine city. We're an upscale city. Our numbers show it. Is it going to make us better by Trader Joe's for a handful of people? They're going to brag about it? Yeah. But, coming up next month, we're celebrating 150 years in the city of Downey, and we're starting with a historical tour, starting with the Downey Cemetery and culminating at City Hall over the week. And you know what? Learn about some of our history, about some of the things we had. Yes, listen, we have the first Taco Bell. We have the oldest McDonald's in the world. You have all the historical, people claim that Florida restaurants, the first Denny's building, and so forth. I don't know. I like our history. We sent you to the moon and we fed you on the way.
And now we have an Ojos Locos.
and now we're going to get a Shake Shack.
Right. And Ojos Locos is going to be crowded.
Yeah.
It's going to be crowded. They're going to do really good business. Ojos Locos invested a lot of money to open their Downey restaurant, their Downey location. I think it's the first one on the West Coast, and they're going to do really good. And they know that, you know. I think some of the criticism against them, I mean, I don't know. I think it was valid, but I think it was also overblown. All we can do now at this point is just monitor. That's all we can do.
Yeah. I'm curious. I want to see what the city does. I want to see they basically just stuck their middle finger at the city and says, we don't care what your ordinance are. We're going to do whatever the heck we want. And so I want to see.
Well, but okay, so in their defense, the city passed that ordinance after Ojos Locos was already building the restaurant, right?
No. That doesn't mean anything. That means the ordinance is on any restaurant in the city that's
right.
It didn't say, it's not retroactive that, if you're already in the works, you don't get to wear
I know, but
uniform. Everybody has to follow the same law.
Correct, but they did it in response to Ojos Locos.
Correct. Correct.
Right, absolutely.
So then that's what my point. It's even more so. Ojos Locos, the city responded to you and says you can't do that. Here's an ordinance. It's going to affect all the restaurants.
Right.
And Ojos Locos says, yeah, we don't care. We're going to do whatever the heck we want, city. So to me, that's the challenge. Really? Can you do that? Because what if the other restaurants that have been complying on there and now they don't have that opportunity? So now it's just free for all for everybody? I don't know.
I don't know. It's a dumb ordinance, in my opinion.
I'm not claiming the merits of the ordinance.
Because
I'm claiming that it is an ordinance. That's all.
No, absolutely. But we both know there's other businesses that don't adhere to that ordinance.
Right. So then we should get rid of the ordinance or enforce the ordinance. That's all. That's all I'm saying is you got to do one or the other.
Here's my theory. I think the city of Downey passed the ordinance because they were getting a lot of complaints from residents, and this is their way of saying we're doing something about it. When in reality, they're not going to do anything. Because I don't see how it can be. I'm not an attorney. I don't see how it can be enforced. Who's going to go in there and measure?
So, on the same premise as the Trader Joe's discussion and what we get, quote unquote, I'm going to push back a little bit on you, okay? Within 100 yards of that, there is one of the most expensive, nicest restaurants we've ever had in Downey by the name of Diosa,
Right.
okay? If you go in there, the fixtures and the quality of everything, including the food, is high-end, very high-end experience on there. We should be proud that Downey has. I'm sorry, this is like a double Trader Joe's to me, that somebody's willing to spend that kind of money, and now they have valet parking, and I've met the owners, and they came to the planning commission for the valet, and they were talking about the experience on there for people to come. Yes, it's high end, but everybody's thinking, oh, you're getting the Ojos Locos, a sports bar, that's how you get. Okay, well, we got a Diosa. And I'm telling you, I will put that place up. That's a destination place for me to go to as my family. I don't know how often I can go there because it's very expensive. But if they do well, that kind of sets the sign for Downey. So when people want the Whole Foods, go to Diosa and tell me that we don't deserve it or that we're not high end enough.
Now, the staff of Diosa wouldn't comply. I wouldn't think they comply with the city of Downey ordinance. Like, well, I don't have a tape measure, but visually, I'm going to assume
they would on the butt part. Maybe not
but not on the cleavage part.
Not the but.
And look,
you and I, to be honest with you, we laughed when that first came out, and so did everybody else. We're not going to name names, but so many other elected officials, we're all like, okay, go there with a tape measure on there. It's just. It's cheeky. Okay, that's too cheeky to even say the word cheeky on there. Okay, I know. Dun-dun-dun. But the back part there, the pictures that I've seen, that's embarrassing. That's Ojos Locos. You went too far by even basically doing that. Now, you don't need to enforce that just to make sure that. I'm sorry, it's pretty bad. Look at some of the photos. There's that much of the cheek showing, and that's just a slap in the face. So, city, do something, get off the pot. One of the two.
But how are we going to say do something against Ojos Locos, but not against the other ones?
Maybe, I don't know. You got it. Well,
why?
The other ones show that much cheek? They show the cleavage. I get. So again, now we being selective. I get it. It's a slippery, and that's why we laughed when it was first passed, because it's a slippery slope.
Right.
Just like you do some things for certain city. We talked about that, giving money to the charities. Where do you stop? It all sounds good. Where do you stop? So this is like, oh, we're going to be tough. We're going to make this ordinance. Where do you stop? And then how do you enforce it? So here it is. The ball's in our court, city. What are you going to do about it, kind of thing?
Yeah. And I think the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
Unless, there's incidents that begin to happen and you force the city's hand to get in there and start doing something.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, and the answer to that is, if you don't like Ojos Locos, go to Diosa. I have no ownership or anything in that.
Totally different demographic.
Totally different demographic. And yet they're within 100 yards of each other, would you say?
Yeah.
They're really close to each other on there.
Close.
And Diosa's is closer to the schools than Ojos Locos. I don't, what's interesting is I don't see the demographics, the Ojos Locos being close to a school thing as the issue to me. I think because when the people that are going to go is after hours when the schools are closed. So I don't see
I
that
agree.
as the issue.
No, what's to me the concern is you're going to get a bunch of drunk people, and especially at night, and who don't know how to handle their alcohol. You have women. It's a recipe for disaster, and they have a bad track record at the other locations.
Yeah, because it's easy these days with social media, with Yelp, and all their. Now somebody told me yesterday that they took down the Facebook for the Downey location for some reason. Is that true?
I read that comment. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would.
Okay. Well, we'll keep vigilant for you. By the way, so tell me about the TVs at each table.
You know what? So this was actually pretty cool. So they have you can sit in a booth. And every booth has its own TV, so you can sit there with your friends or family, or whatever, and watch a game. You don't have to be looking up at a TV trying to catch a glimpse. So you have your own personal TV. That was really cool because you can sit there with your friends and watch a Dodger game or whatever.
Kind of reminds me of Foxy when they had their own toaster.
Yes, remember, it's just like that, but with a TV. So that was actually pretty nice.
So you said something interesting too. You said that there was kids in there.
There was, and you know what? I saw maybe 2 to 3 kids, and when I say kids, ranging in age from like an infant, maybe 6 months, up to maybe 7 or 8 years old. I don't know. I'm not going to tell people how to parent. I thought it was strange.
There's other places to go. I mean, if you want a sports bar, go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something, or some place that's got the reputation as a sports bar without all the things that go with the Ojos Locos rep.
What was funny is I saw maybe 3 times I saw people come in, women, middle-aged women. They would go in not knowing what it was, peek in there, immediately leave because they didn't know what it was.
And
from the outside, it's very tinted. You can't tell what's going on in there.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so they would go in there, kind of see what's going on. No, this isn't for me, and they would leave.
Interesting observation.
And so that was actually kind of funny.
I think knowing what I know, I think you're right. We should. I mean, all the curiosity on there. So maybe for lunch we can all the guys go.
Absolutely.
But seriously, knowing what I know, I think I'd be embarrassed to take my wife or daughter there.
Yeah.
Knowing everything that I've
absolutely.
heard. So
absolutely.
I think that's always the barometer for all of us is like,
right.
I mean, we're not prudes, but yet I don't want to go there on a regular. There's just too many good places to eat.
But maybe your wife is like the cool wife, and she'll take you.
No. I don't think. Well, I wouldn't ask her to on there. I'd be embarrassed to walk in there. Although you know what's funny is seriously, there's one in Covina. We've come back in from Palm Springs or whatever, and we've stopped at Hooters a couple of times in Covina. On there, we weren't embarrassed from the Hooters thing, and actually some of the wings or something were decent in the old days.
The vibes were different.
Yeah.
Like I've been to Hooters, and it's just different.
Yeah.
This just felt a little slimier.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So our episode about I can't believe we're still talking about.
But I'm happy that the food wasn't good.
Oh, good.
Because imagine if the food was good, I would be kicking myself like I really want to go.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do takeout because nobody goes there for takeout. You're gonna eat there. But we should go. We should go there for lunch.
Okay. All right. We'll do a review on it. But I saw your pictures. And the thing on the tacos, they weren't warmed. The tortillas, they didn't have any oil, butter thing on there.
It was so plain.
It looked very plain on there. You said it was the worst tacos you ever had.
It really was. I'm not just saying that to be dramatic. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So there used to be that restaurant critic, Elmer Dills, I used to read in the Times and stuff. And he always said, you got to give a restaurant for the food 6 months because they're putting their stuff together. So maybe we'll go from there. But
the service was good.
Oh, really?
Very friendly.
I've heard the opposite just because they're so busy.
It was slow.
Yeah.
But they were very friendly. We had a supervisor. I'm assuming it was a supervisor, a man.
Did they know that you guys were reporters?
No,
on the
they did not know. They don't know. But he came to check to see how everything was.
Good.
And so it was very friendly. It was just a little slow. That's
so I got to laugh at this because you showed us the bill with some friends of ours. We text each other. You showed me the bill, and I counted 14 hand-drawn hearts on the bill.
It was very flirtatious.
It was like, wow.
It was saying on the receipt she wrote, thank you. It was a pleasure. 14 hearts. 14 hearts on there.
I counted them on
It was
there.
funny. I posted it on Instagram
Did
too.
Did it make you give more of a tip because of that?
No, I laughed because obviously I know I'm not one of those guys who's saying, "Oh, she likes me," But I can see there are guys out there who are going to think that.
It's like I want to say this as a dad. Okay, my 2 daughters going through college and afterwards worked as waitresses, right? And I was proud of them. They hustled. They were good at normal restaurants, if you will. I don't want to put down Oslo, but at normal restaurants and stuff like that. They had normal clothes and stuff. And they hustled for tips and everything else. I wouldn't, and this is going to make me sound of a prude, but we're talking about it. I wouldn't want my daughters to work there. Based on that, it's hard enough being the waitresses and serving people. And they were both very good at it, and they both during college. But so I think that's the barometer for me too. If I would have my family members, I don't want to go there with my family members. You know what? I'm being a hypocrite. I would probably go there with a couple of my sons.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
No,
I just not thought about
sense.
it, but I wouldn't go there with my. So that says a lot. Okay, now I'm going to get in trouble for this on there. I'm not Matt and Ryan. I'm not inviting you guys there. Okay, we'll go to a other sports bar or something that's got regular cleavage and no butt showing.
No, it makes perfect sense what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
really does.
All right. So this is the latest on there. We will check back on this issue in about 6 months. Okay, we're kind of tired of it, but it continues to grow. Both of us on our social medias put some things up about it, and it's just like 2,000 people commenting. It was just crazy.
I mean, there's memes about it, and there's a comment.
Well, the Downey memes got a lot. Every time always brings up something about Ojos Locos.
It does.
So,
it's a talk of the town. It's going to die down.
It will. And we're going to die down with it. We're going to show this show. This will drop on Friday, and we'll go from there. So listen, thank you for listening and watching. We look forward to your comments, your thoughts. Please share this. We continue to build an audience. And thank you to Financial Partners Credit Union for being our sponsor. Because of them, we're able to continue to do these shows. Thank you to Brandon and Hans, our executive producers, and for keeping the show going. So please DM us. Please email us. Please write on the comments on the YouTube. Watch us however you're watching us or listening to us. So thank you for listening, for watching Talking Downey with Mario.